Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Come on in. I hope you have your pajamas on and your drinks on deck. Shouts out to Seagram's Escapes for providing my Calypso Colada. I am a pina colada lover. And so I have my Calypso Colada with me tonight after getting a new supply from Seagram's Escapes. So ladies that are like me and don't like to drink a lot, don't like the taste of alcohol, make sure that you get your Seagram's Escapes with our good sis Cynthia Bailey. There's all types of flavors that actually are great for the palate and don't taste like alcohol. So you guys know what tonight is. Tonight is our pajamas, our Christmas celebration for Ready to Love, Make a Move. And you know what I got to do right now? I got to bring in my co-host. Let me get Scorpio Moe in the building. There he is. Okay, sir. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. You're on mute. You're on mute. You got to unmute yourself. Oh, man. The whole setup, the pajamas on, and he's on mute. Nah, you just got to unmute. What's happening? Oh, damn. Well, damn. We trying to start the night off having fun, and Scorpio Moe don't have it together. He has the pajamas on. I'm sure he has his drink, but he does not have his sound on. Hey, Blondie. Hey, Patricia. Hey, Ish, KDM, Caramel Fox, Gigi, Star. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You guys come on in and have a seat. Michelle, Quay, Dee, Miss Pretty Amazing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Mo is going to get his stuff together and get back in. Muwadi, what's up, my lady? Get himself together and get back in the chat. Tonight's episode, there's a lot to talk about, so I don't even want to start it without Mo.
We good?
We good. I'm just like, come on now. This is not the night.
I honestly don't think that was me. I think that was you holding that button again.
No, it was not. No, it was not. What you got here? What you drinking on tonight?
Moscato.
Okay.
And I got my silk drawers on too, just so y'all know.
You got your what?
I got my silk drawers on.
Oh, okay. Well, no. Well, okay. All right.
The whole outfit. That's what I mean. Not just the draw. The whole thing.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for clearing that up for us. Thank you for clearing that up. I'm excited because, as we told you guys tonight, we have a special guest that I think is going to drop in. But we also, later on tonight, we're going to have some of you to drop in and give us your thoughts on tonight's episode. If you had a chance to see our Wednesday recap, put an XO in the chat so we can know that you had a chance to see it. On Wednesday, we kind of did a recap and gave our predictions for what was going to happen tonight. And honestly, I would just start by saying tonight's episode was not as I thought it was going to be more explosive than it was. I thought it was going to be more explosive. It actually was not. That trailer and them clips were definitely a lot more explosive than the actual show. What do you think?
Lived up to it?
Mm-mm.
I learned more on this one than I did before of all of them.
Okay, why you say that?
I just think we got to it. We got to where we needed to go as far as who's what. I mean, who's who and what's what. I think we needed to see that, and I think it really brought it out on a couple of people tonight. So we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. Thank you guys for the XOs. Now, you guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, we are going to bring in some of you guys in the last half of the episode, but unless we get the likes up, we cannot. Yes, we're going to take calls, higher perspective, but we cannot do that unless we have at least as many likes as we have people in the chat. So, because I know y'all be doing me wrong most of the time and don't be liking it, be in here in the chat talking and don't be liking. So we're going to be doing that later. So we just need to make sure that our likes live up to our people in the chat. Let's get into tonight's episode. It was interesting because we got a chance to see family and friends of the guys.
Yeah.
And let's start. Where you want to start?
I would say let's start with. I really want to start with Ashley. I want to start off the top.
You want to start off at the. You want to start with you.
Yeah.
You want to
Because people have been waiting. They want to get to that. Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's do that. Let's get to it.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm gonna say, I know you had a different perspective. See, I'll be trying to save the end to the ends, the good stuff to the end, but you want to jump right in and let's come in hot.
Right.
Ashley, I'm gonna let you start because I feel like I'm
Yeah.
tired. I'm tired, man. I'm tired.
For this episode, I am Team Ashley. I
Wow.
felt her on this one. I felt her.
Okay. How so?
She was right. His friend, Donald's friend.
Yeah.
She came for it. Ain't that what y'all say? Ain't that
She came for her, right?
Yeah. So now she was a little aggressive might be too strong, but she was on her and she knew a lot. Obviously I guess because they're friends, but she was really
What specifically did she say that made you think she knows a lot? And the only, might I add before you answer that, the only reason that she could know would be through Donald.
Exactly. That's my point.
Okay.
Her speaking on the fact that when he says he's like this and likes to wear this and the whole changing him and letting him be himself. And I get all that.
Yeah.
He never expressed that to her, first of all. So to hear it from somebody else, you kind of get blindsided as far as Ashley is concerned. Because Ashley like she was open. And then here's this woman that's just coming in. You might accept a little bit from it if it's her sister, if it's a sister partner. But that was just way too strong for me.
Yeah. I think Aza C says, what say y'all, passionate versus aggressive?
Thank you. I'm glad you said that because I'm a passionate person. So when I knew what it was. And I think a lot of people that aren't used to that, they take it as anger, and it's not. And it's passionate, because passionate people, when they're quiet and when they're not doing nothing, that's when you really got something to worry about. They just care. And I think a lot of times it comes off as anger.
All right. I don't agree with you. And this is why. I do think the friend came in hot. But it's funny because I say this all the time. Every time friends come to the show, be it the ladies' friends, really it's the ladies' friends usually. They always be amped up for no reason, like trying to find something about, trying to find a chink in the armor, crack in the paint. Like it's always like that. Like even the girls' friends when they came, except for Stormy, it's always like, so what do you want? Like it's too much. It's too much. Okay, so wait a minute. We got to bring our special guest in so we can get into this conversation. I think our special guest will be able to give us a little bit of context to that. Let's welcome to the show tonight, the one and only, the very, very beautiful Zadia.
Hi. Hey. Oh, snap. Oh, Lord. I just had a whole mishap here. Sorry.
First of all, I love that. She actually has the hat on.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to join in the celebration.
I love it. We had our graphic artist, shout out to Curdy Lee. He photoshopped the hats on all of us. And I love the fact that Zadia wore the hat. Welcome. Y'all got to let us, we had a good surprise for y'all tonight. Ooh. We had a good surprise with the beautiful Miss Zadia. Welcome to the show. For the first time, for the very first time.
I know. It's been a long time coming, ain't it? Lord.
Man, we got, y'all know we didn't get Zadia when she was on DC, but we got Zadia tonight. So, better late than never. It's the right time. Timing is always everything. So I'm excited to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, we actually got a chance to hang out with Zadia last week?
Last Thursday, right.
I feel like time is flying. Hold on, let me just turn one of these lights off, child. I'm blinding myself over here. I got the whole studio lit up. No. It feels like it was like 2 weeks ago. I keep saying, I was in Atlanta 2 weeks ago, but it really was last week. So
last week,
Thursday before last. Yep,
under the mistletoe. So that was cool, and we had a chance. You and I had a chance to talk and to to air out some things and figure out what was going on. And really, there was nothing going on, but we had a good chat. And so you agreed to come on. We held the secret. We held the secret that you were coming tonight. So Zadia, we were just getting started. We want you to kind of weigh in. Ozza C, one of our viewers said, what we're talking about Ashley and her whole thing. We started with Ashley today, right? So she said, what say y'all, passionate versus aggressive? And Mo says that he's a very passionate person. I feel like I'm a very passionate person too, but he feels like he a lot of times is misunderstood by you could kind of explain what you were saying, Mo, before Zadia came in.
People mistaking the passion for anger, right? It's just like when people mistaking cocky for confidence. It's you know what I'm saying? It could look like the same energy from afar, but that's how they care. They pour everything. So when you see a person like Tupac, he's passionate because he cares. But if you don't read that right and you're super laid back, it can come across as anger. You know, DMX, which he was compared to, the same thing because they care. So that, to me, that's the difference.
Think about that.
Yeah, as a person that has been labeled as aggressive and labeled as what was the other word that you used?
Passionate. Passion.
Oh, cocky. No, cocky. I know that it definitely is a projection most of the time from people. Mm-hmm. When you do have something that you are like, for instance, the scene with Ashley, I feel like she really is into Don, and she's trying to and being a person that's that was there, and I actually had a scene with her in the bathroom that nobody saw after the whole Lakeisha thing, because she like stormed into the bathroom. And I was like, I went after her and I said, Ashley, what's going on? Because I didn't even know all that was going on. And Ashley was just telling me, like, she came at me crazy. Don didn't say anything. And I really do feel like Ashley was very passionate and not aggressive in that moment when she was talking to Don. Now, you know, one of the things I'm really big on is communication and stepping back when I see myself communicate. Like, having been on Radio Love DC, I was able to see myself, right, in certain ways. And right. I was like, okay, well, I can work on the way that I communicated that, right? I can make it a little more gentle and more digestible, you know, so people can hear what I'm saying as opposed to just seeing the emotion, right? So I think that's something that Ashley can possibly learn from this moment, where it's like, yeah, you can still be passionate, get your point across, but sometimes everybody's not going to respond the way that you think they should respond to what you're saying. So you have to know who you're dealing with when you're talking to them, and you have to kind of respond in a way that people are going to get it. Their ears will open instead of them feeling like they have to be defensive.
Mm-hmm. Now that's true, but no, that's fair and that's true. But also when I look at a person like Don and how he's just super nonchalant, like a lot of people are going to read that different. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah. You don't care. Like, you don't care.
Agree. That I think this. I've learned that if you're a passionate person, a lot of times opposites can attract, right? But a lot of times they attract, but they don't stay together, right? And I know for me, nonchalant people and me don't work for relationships. Like, I could have a nonchalant friend. I could be nonchalant at times, but usually it's because if I'm nonchalant about it, I don't care. Right. But when I care, I need to know you care as well. However, some people's personalities are like that. So, and I'm talking more, I agree that the friend, like I was saying, Zadia, before you got on, the friends always come ready to turn up. I don't know if production tells them to do that, but the friends come in blazing, like, why, just asking questions, even on Ready to Love. Sometimes like the friends are doing too much.
But I feel like the people rev their friends up to do that, because my friends, when they came on Ready to Love DC, they were like, what do you want us to ask? And I was like, okay, I need y'all to get just ask some questions that you think I may not have asked. I had a guy and a woman friend that came on, and and they were both respectable of the person that they knew I was interested in. And I feel like that's, at the end of the day, you can get down to answers and you can get down to business without making a person feel defensive. And Lakeisha this wasn't the only time that she did this. Now she did this. Y'all go see cover when we get to the reunion. But she also did this on the reunion where she was like rah rah rah, and I'm like, hey girlfriend, like you know him in a platonic way. Right. You don't know him in a romantic way, so you can't really speak on how he is acting or how he's dealing with this situation. Also, Don, speak up. Where are you? Hello, sir.
Yeah.
And I also feel like in that scene with when they were sitting down outside at the evening scene, that he was deflecting. He was not answering any of the questions. He made it all about how she was reacting to his bullshit. Sorry, I'm just gonna say it. It was some BS with him sitting there and letting his friend attack her like that. I would first the way that I care about the people that I would bring my friends around, I would never let them disrespect them like that. Mm-hmm. Like, you might feel some kind of way. Okay, so you address me about that. Don't talk to him about that, because we don't want that back and forth. So we're gonna respect each other. You can talk to me about it later, because I've had friends that would be like, yeah, he ain't the one. Yeah, that's not it for you. I ain't like the way that he did this. And that's after they met the person. But when they were in the person's face, they would be respectful.
Yeah.
No, I agree with not that.
I agree with you on that. I think he should have said something. I feel like what Mo said earlier is that there probably is a lot that he hasn't said to Ashley that he has said to his friend. Yeah. Because she came with a lot of information that came from him, right? So my thing was, I think the friend was wrong. I think a man, especially when women are going back and forth, I feel like he should have calmed the friend down, because she was agitating and making it worse. However, my thing with Ashley is like, quit trying to make him say something. You are just badgering him to say more. If he don't say it, maybe he don't feel it. And if he does feel it and you pulling it, it's just, to me, it's too much. You can never well, I need more from you. And what do you do? Like, that doesn't work with men. In my experience, coming at a man and saying, why aren't you doing this? I want more. That just makes him shrink back, which is what we think on.
She was badgering him?
I do.
I feel like she just wanted him to speak up for her. I also feel like Ashley's the type of person, and knowing her personally, like, she wants to give you the benefit of the doubt. She wants to give you room to do better, and she's going to vocalize both, right? Like, hey, like, this is what I need you to do. Now, in that moment, one, we have to all remember at that time, we were like in a pressure cooker. There was a lot going on. It was a lot. Right. It was a lot. I'm watching it back like, oh, girl, you should have just. Did you not hear that the first? Like, what is happening? So it's like, it's one of those things where, like, we're making TV. Yeah. They know they know what to do, how to push the buttons, and then this person's reacting, and you over here like, oh hell no, like how's this gonna look, and like, it's so many things going on in your mind. So I think she just wanted Don to fight for her. One of the things about Ashley is she talked about this all the time, is how she had a really great relationship with her stepdad, and how he was a superhero, how he treated her mom, how he was like this amazing person. And I feel like she wants I know she wants someone to be like him. Yeah. And unfortunately, we have to also remember that these people, like, everybody's not going to be capable. And we have to just see that. Now, in that moment, we also have to think, like, what other options did Ashley have in terms of dating? Like,
well, okay, let me ask you this.
We weren't presented with a lot of options. I'm just going to say.
No, y'all weren't. And we talked about that Wednesday. Y'all didn't have a lot of options.
It's like you're trying to fit a circle to a square, and it's just one of those things where they're not reaching the corners. He wasn't touching the corners. So that's what I saw.
But why does she, at least from, and you can speak as you're there, I think one of the things that we brought up Wednesday, I feel like Donald may not be the best fit for her. She seemed attracted to him initially, but I'm surprised. Kirsten shows even less initiative from what we see from the edit. I get it, there's edit, but the edit does not. Donald comes across as more genuinely interested in Ashley than Kirsten does. And yet it seems like Ashley may be attracted. This is just our perspective on watching. She may be more attracted to Kirsten. So she's giving him all kind of passes. To me, why is he back? You felt like the flirtation was happening on behalf of your friend. He didn't fight. That's another thing. And if it keeps coming up that you want someone to fight for you, maybe that's more you than them. But why is Kirsten even in the picture? Except to stay on the show, I guess. But it's just like,
well, he was brought back. He was brought back by Tamika, child.
But she entertaining it, and she could tell she was not upset with it. Y'all, yeah, because y'all can say what you feel. If you know what I mean? We talked about that at the thing. Shay was like, well, I just said what I wanted to say. Now, I don't know for this show if you, because we felt like specifically Sharice didn't really have any options. But if she didn't have options, then would the show end? No, I mean, would she have been off?
No, that was the thing. We were reaching a moment where it was like, we only got a couple of more days left here, so you really can't get rid of nobody. Like, if you don't want to do this person, then you got to kind of like move with this person. So it's one of those things. That's what I'm saying. We were just in a pressure cooker. It was just one of those things where it's like, all right, like, what am I gonna do to end the show? Like, how am I gonna end the show? Because we don't get kicked off. We right. The people. We the people.
I thought like it would just kick out, just say no.
No. But that's why I was saying, like, I was talking to a friend today. I was like, at a certain point, it was like, if I would have went on dates with Cam, I would have been going on dates looking at myself, talking to myself. I would have been drinking the Slurpees by myself. Like, hey girl, how you doing? You feeling good today? You look good. Okay, waist, no waist. Like, it would have been like that. It's just it wouldn't have been any story. And our stories had started from the beginning. So that's just one of the things that we have to remember when we're watching these shows.
I said that Wednesday. I was like, options. Did they have much of enough? Did they have any real options outside of their keepers?
I can tell you right now.
We know.
If you would have presented me any of those people in my normal life, if I would have walked past them, and this is no shade to nobody, there wouldn't have been no double look. They wouldn't have got on my phone. I wouldn't have been talking to them. We wouldn't have been in each other's face. Okay.
We picked that up on camera. Zadia, you ain't want to go out on dates with none of them, man. Stop playing.
I was just there so I wouldn't get fired at a certain point.
I get that. Thank you.
No shade. I'll be the first to admit, like, everybody else would be like, oh, this person was okay. And it's not about their character or anything of the sort. I felt like they were great men. They were very nice, very, like, great gentlemen. But in terms of just like the way that I move in life, it wasn't going to be a fit. From attraction alone, it wasn't going to be a fit. And I really believe that you have to be attracted to the person that you're going to continue dating before you move on to any other stage of the conversation. So some people will argue that that's not the case. You shouldn't think about them being attractive, but I want to be able to look at the person I'm dating and be like, oh my God, you're so cute. Yes, I like your face. In some type of capacity. Like, he ain't got to be Shamar Moore, because I don't even like pretty boys like that. But I'm just saying, like, it has to be something that I can look at least.
You seem attracted to Cam both internally and externally.
Yeah, Cam has a dimple. He's a cute guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, we see you, girl. Style. We see you, girl. We
more
see that.
More than anything, me and Cam had great conversation. So that was a big thing for me. Of course, like, he's tall. We had a lot of things in common in terms of just like both having lived in Atlanta and both went to school at U of H, which was weird that we had never crossed paths. And I thought that was kind of strange. Like, yo, like, what's happening here? Mm-hmm. But that first conversation that we had really just like, I was like, okay, like, he's smart. He's ambitious. He's driven. Like, he's definitely my speed. Like, we could talk about things. Like, I could be helpful to him. He could be helpful to me in ways that we that we would need each other. And I felt like it was just a good fit for what we were doing and where we were at.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting anything like that, though. I wasn't expecting to meet anybody on this show. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Was he too driven?
I mean, so just thinking about my dating history, like I said, every time I watch the show back, I am like reflecting and taking things in, right? And just thinking about my dating history, I've always dated people that have been very much so into whatever it is that they're doing. Mm-hmm. The thing is, it's like I'm usually able to do what I'm doing, right? So I'm not sitting around a house waiting to go on a date. I'm doing my business. Like here, and I am me and Christal talked about this. I was like, when I'm dating in the everyday life, I probably see the person like maybe once or twice a week. Once if I like go over to their house, and the other time we just make a date night, and that's scheduled, right? So that we put that on our calendars, and then we talk every now and again, you know. So it's never anything where I feel like they're overbearing or I'm overbearing towards them. So it's just one of those things where it's just, you know, I feel like it was just the like I feel like we have a great connection. It was just the timing.
Okay. I want to wrap up Ashley first, because there's a couple of things that I still want us to talk about before we move on. Hey, Camille. Thank you so much.
I can't see the comments. Why I can't see the comments? I've been trying to read.
You know, just focus on the conversation. You can read them. Camille said, hey. She said, well,
hey, girlfriend. Oh, this is my apparently me, Camille. I'm mean to Camille. So let me be mean to Camille. Hey, girl. Let me be mean real quick.
That was a strange comment. That was a strange comment. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. But back to Ashley. Everything just seemed to go wrong in those scenes. The part where she said to him, like, if something happened, I can't remember. She's, I would slap you or something like that. And she says that she said that she was joking. Mo, are you still rocking you rocking all the way out with Ashley this episode?
This episode I'm team ain't gonna hold.
Okay.
Okay. He's team Ashley.
On this episode, I am. I switch every week. Yeah.
I just don't like, and I mean, I know it's TV. It irritates me when women are begging men to tell them, because this is TV, but it also happens in real life. So when you're asking a man to please tell you how he feels, and she said, well, he writes poetry, you can't make him do it. I feel like it just.
But why did he tell the friend and not tell her? That's the part that's pissing her off.
Tell the friend what?
You told the friend, but you ain't tell the person you were supposed to be telling.
Oh, the issues that he had.
Right.
Well, because how many of us, I'm going to ask both of you, because I'll admit I've never done it. Whenever there's something I don't like about a guy, I'll probably call you and tell you, right? No, I don't like this, or what I think about this, and you'll tell me, maybe give him some space, maybe give him some grace. I don't ever tell the guy unless we're vested. If we're dating, just getting to know each other, I'm trying to see if I like you enough to stick around. So for him to, you know how people know the person's not interested? They ghost them, right? They fall back into the bushes like Homer Simpson. So do you actually think, Mo, I'm gonna start with you because I know you.
Yeah.
Have you told a girl, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this? Or have you just called me on the phone and told me, and then kind of slowly faded to black?
I got just one question before I answer that. Did I hit first? Did I hit or did I not hit? That's important. I just need to know if I hit.
I mean, you and I have talked in both ways. Lately, you haven't been hitting as much as you used to. You used to hit immediately. and so lately, it's not the hit as quickly, but you have ghosted girls and blocked them.
Yeah. All the time.
So why aren't you doing what you're saying Donald should have done?
Because he left and came back. They got something, right?
No. The show made him come back.
Well, whatever it is, he's back and she entertained it. I personally walked away the last episode when she told him about the other dude. I would have been like, well, pick him. But that's just me.
What about the shoes? When she mentioned the fact she didn't like him wearing the loafers.
Now, okay. Now the friend might have a point on that one. You can't. Yeah. Okay, I'll give it that. That's it.
Zadia.
My My man had a different color loafer for every color shirt. It was matching loafer, matching shirt. Yo, I said I ain't never seen it. It was getting monochromatic without the bottom half. Like it was. I have never
not monochromatic.
I mean, I feel like there's a couple of scenes in our mixers where I'd be like, okay, loafers. I probably said that a few times because it was hard to miss. It was hard to miss. I'm not saying that's the right delivery, but what I'm saying is it was hard to miss. It was hard. He would have a polo shirt and a loafer. It would be matchy every time. And I'm over here like, they do that. They must do that in New Orleans. But it turned out he's from North Carolina, so that explained so much more to me.
To that wrong. That means I would take that. That means that man, if he likes something, he sticks to it. Yeah,
well, I think you could just tell. Like I'm a person. Okay, so like I'm gonna say this. Probably I'm gonna be a repeat with this. I'm a big communicator. I tell you what it is that I like and what I don't like, because I always want to give people time to course correct. Like especially if they're a nice person. Like if it's just like all bad, I leave you to your own. I just be like, yeah, no, it's not gonna work. But if it's someone that just has like a few things that it's just like, oh yeah, I'm not really feeling this. You know, like I would tell them like, hey, you would look so much better if you did that. That's a line for Vern. Actually, she taught me that. You would look so much better if you cut your hair. You would look so much better if you did this. So
stuff, man. Oh my God.
So for me, for instance, I personally believe in self-expression and like letting people do them. And if we get to a place in our relationship where I am now able to like start, fine tune a few things, which will be later on, I would like buy things. I would buy shoes. I would buy clothes. Well, my mama told me never to buy a man shoes, but I would give gift cards. And I would like move, like lead up to the water. So it's just like one of those things where I think everybody has their preferences, but you also have to let people live the way they live. And if somebody would have told me, I don't like you changing your wigs all the time, I'm like, well, toodaloo, my G, because I will change my wigs.
Yeah. Off you go.
I will change my wig. One thing you got, well, listen, I'll change my wig right now. We not gonna play this game.
I was like, Zadia, are you doing your hair? Because I was trying to figure out how her wigs were so perfect every day and so different. Like one episode, it may be like 3, but they be laid. And I was like, she gotta be doing that herself because I know Ready to Love is not sending her a stylist.
Oh, absolutely
I know they're
not. Absolutely not. Absolutely
I know not. So you're saying, I just want to make sure we got this. You're saying that you feel like the issues that Donald had with Ashley, he should have told her, or it's fair to tell a person before.
Yes. Well, the whole thing is like, if you don't tell me, how will I know?
Or maybe just, I don't know.
What?
Maybe that's you and you grown and I just don't like it and I would just fade to black.
Right.
Okay, so then fade to black too. That's also an option. Donald didn't have to come back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He didn't. I just think
he didn't have to continue texting. He didn't once he was gone, he could have been gone.
Right.
But it was very clear that he was there for one or two things. Or maybe two things. So let's all be clear. Like, if you are telling your friend something and then she brings it back, I would rather hear it from you before I hear from your friend.
Exactly.
And if you know that you bringing your friend to the friend and family date, and she got loose lips to sink this ship, then you need to go ahead and let me know real quick. Let me pull you to the side. Hey, girl, so this is what I done told her. This is what she might bring up. Because sis came like she had a battery in her back.
Right.
She did.
And and to me, that's some weak stuff. If you're telling her all this stuff and you know she about to bring it up and you don't even tell Ashley what you really feel, that's weak. Yeah.
She was
that's 100% fair. I think the friend, he should have checked the friend because I'm like, did the friend come to sabotage
Right.
I think the friend was way wrong. My thing is just Ashley, stop asking that man to give you stuff. If he ain't giving it to you now, he not going to. Stop. Just stop it. Stop.
Well, she asked him to communicate more. He started communicating. I don't really feel like it's hard. I don't feel like it's bad to ask someone to do something. I feel like once they show you that they're incapable of doing it, that's when you go ahead and move around.
Right.
So asking for it is not an issue because I feel people are not mind readers. And
no, but it's the way she was asking. I just am trying to get you to like that is a lot to me. It's a lot. It's just it felt very much like I'm trying to squeeze juice from a turnip. Like it's
because
girl.
The first time she asked him.
No, it's not. She's asking everybody. She was asking same thing out of Kirsten, and I'm not saying. I mean, and this is not no shade to any women do that all the time. Like you learn as you get like don't if that man ain't doing it, it's because he don't want to. I guess I put up a post the other day. My mom was so hard on me. She taught me, look, if he not calling, he does not want to call. His phone is not broke. He's not afraid. He's not intimidated. He just don't want to do it. Stop asking him and trying to goad him into doing it. And I feel like we're watching Ashley try to prod these guys into doing things. And it's just, the way we see it, it just reads like, girl.
Yeah, I feel like that's just, I mean, that it's tantalizing, right? It gets the people going, it's provocative. Right. And I feel like that's the reason why you're seeing it the way that you're seeing it. Ashley was not trying to force that man to do nothing. He was doing it.
Okay.
Fair. He was doing it. And I think they did run up against a wall at that family friend event. I do strongly believe that. Of course, I was not at their date, so I wasn't privy to that information. So I saw whatever they put up on TV. But I'm sure it was more to that than it was that we saw. But he was very much so cooperative in everything that Ashley needed and desired, and up until that point. Now, my whole thing is, if you over here talking to your friend about me, and you know your friend about to be in my face, and your friend can't hold water, then you need to go ahead and let me know exactly what it is that you feel about me before your friend gets into my presence. And if your friend attacks me in any way, like, that's not cool at all.
Yeah. We all can agree on that. That's the friend came in like she had a job to do. And I'm like, it was
like he was on mute. He was doing the mute challenge before the mute challenge.
Somebody said Donald was on mute. But let me ask you this before we go. Do y'all think that's a lot of passion for a friend?
I don't think they did anything. Now that's why me and Sharice got into the little spit spat, and we got into it because I'm over here like, why would you say that he would do something like that? That's weird. Like, why would he bring her onto this show like that? He doesn't have to bring her. He could have brought that one friend, just like Cam brought one friend. He could have brought that one guy friend and called it a day.
Yeah.
I'm not going to think the worst of Donald in that way. I don't feel like he's vindictive like that or manipulative. I don't feel like he's that type of dude. So,
but what if he doesn't know? What if the friend likes him?
Well,
I don't think. I don't know. LJ was wild as hell on that season because he did bring an ex that he had slept with less than 30 days ago. That was wild. But and I feel like that was some different stuff, a little disrespectful. But with this girl, I don't know. I mean, Mo and I have been friends for like damn near 25 years, 22 years. I'm not that passionate. Like, I don't know. That feels like she was invested, and maybe she likes Donald and Donald doesn't like her. I don't know, but something else felt weird in that.
He doesn't seem like a guy that knows how to say no, so maybe she kind of just bogarted her way into the show.
I don't think that was the case. I think what happened was, I feel like she saw the cameras and she was like, lights, cameras, action.
And she
didn't know she was running up against a big dog. And it was like, now we got two pit bulls in the ring.
Yeah.
And it's like bow. And Ashley wasn't gonna play that game with her.
No, as she should not have, but it just went way over the top. Valencia says, I feel like Donald definitely friend zoned that lady. He could have been innocent with her, but she definitely tried it before. I think she definitely liked Donald because she felt some kind of way. Mo, I love you, but I don't feel that passionate about it. And I'm probably gonna if now there are a lot of girls that you have gone out with that I did not like, but I would never act that way towards them. What I will do is as soon as we're away from that girl, be like, that ain't it. I don't like her. But I'm never gonna do it. Yeah, and I've done that to you before, but I've never done it in the person's face, even though a couple times I should have.
No time you should have.
I'm
You
glad
said what? All right, let's move on to Vernisha. That's an easy one. We got the firecracker out the way.
Hey, Bar.
Let's talk about Vernisha and Tabari. And I will say this: I'm liking Tabari more and more as we go on.
Yeah.
I like
I think with his family too. They just brought a different type of energy.
Yes, I agree. It felt like, and I think this. You know, the show is 4 beautiful women on the show, right? So I do think sometimes, and then you got 4 beautiful women and you got cameras. So a lot of guys probably are a little nervous because if you're not used to being on television, which most of these guys obviously have not been, and you're not used to being around, you know, a production crew and beautiful, like 4 beautiful women, and you're trying to like, that's probably a lot of pressure, right? Okay. So I feel like we don't always get the best out of the guys initially. So with Tabari, we're seeing him. I think because we had gotten so used to seeing Vern with Jabari, I wasn't really sure. We were kind of like, what is this? His conversation was it wasn't really making sense. But then today, I was like, okay. And then hearing Vernisha, when she came on and she talked about how there was another side of him that the cameras don't show, I was like, okay, we saw that a little bit today. So I really liked him. I thought we got a chance to get to know him. And he seems I also feel like, and this could be, I don't know, it could be for the cameras, but I respected the fact when he said, I can see her as a future, like I'm serious. So I was like, okay. What do y'all think?
Yeah. No, I feel the same way. Seeing him around his family, and he wasn't as I'll say silly when he got around them. But I like what his mother said. That was dope. Yeah. And I think everybody needs to take that advice. She said something to the lines of, if you're asking them to do something that they're not normally, you gotta basically, she was saying, you gotta give them some grace and let them figure it out. But if they're not used to doing it and that's not in part of the program, you gotta give them a chance.
Yeah, that was good. I liked his mom. The whole thing. What do you think? What do you think, Zadia, being there? What did you think about Tabari initially, and then tonight's episode, watching that?
I think Tabari's a cool dude. I felt like why are you laughing?
I'm looking at the chat. They clowning me for drinking the Seagram's Escapes. It's not hard liquor, y'all.
Oh, okay.
It's Seagram's Escapes.
Okay, sorry. I think Tabari's a cool dude. I feel like well, when I met him initially at the mixer, he was just nice. He's a nice guy, and his mom actually made me like him more. Miss Lydia, shout out to her. Hey, Miss Lydia, copy girl. But no, she when he brought her into the equation, it definitely was one of those things where it's like, okay, like maybe he is serious. I didn't really see a lot of goofiness in Tabari, so I'm actually just seeing it for the first time as I watched the show with you all. It seemed like he was very friendly. It also seemed like he was just a cool laid back dude. Like, didn't really let too much get to him, which is, to me, is a little admirable. So I just thought that he was like cool. I didn't know if he was necessarily Vern's type, but also remember I was meeting Vern for the first time in that situation, so I didn't know what her type was. But you know, I feel like as long as he was willing to step up to the plate and make the adjustments needed, which was the communication, which seemed to be a lot of guys' issues.
Right.
It was one of those things where I just like, okay, well, if he can do those things, then yeah, he might actually be a good fit, because he definitely brought, some cool energy to the whole mixer vibe.
Mo, what did you think about Tabari now? You said you kind of agree with me. You kind of like him more this time, because at first you were not feeling it.
Yeah, I thought it was a little silly. But Zadia just brought up a good point. Like, it could just come off as friendly and just a cool, chill, laid back. He ain't bothering nobody. He's in his own little zone, and that's cool. Seeing him around it, I don't know. The energy with his mother and his brother, he just seemed like it. When you see the shot where they're all just sitting together, they all look like a family.
Yeah.
And I thought fly. So I like him. I like as we go on, I like the people more and more. But I'm noticing, and like you were saying with the lights and the cameras, when you go on these people's Instagram, they're nothing like when you first see him on the show.
Right.
I'm always taken back. I was like, well, where's this guy at? Because he was not the guy that they just showed on the episode. It's a different kind of dude. So yeah.
Well, we have to remember that, like, the people are made to be characters. And you can't show, like, if I have a certain storyline set up for this person, I can't show them to be anything other than exactly what I said that they were. So if I said that they are rude, then they need to be rude across the board, because if I show them in any other light, then it'd be like, oh, well, she's not rude right there. Like, we can't put any holes in this story. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, if I am this bossy chick that comes on this show and I'm snippy, then yeah, she needs to be snippy across the board. So I'm going to pull out every snippy moment that she has, compress it together, and now that's all the audience sees. And now you're thinking, oh, this all she is snippy. And then you go to her Instagram or his Instagram, and you're like, oh wait, like, they're actually pretty funny, and they're like, they're laid back, and I like their little cookie segments that they do, and like all that stuff. And that's just the reality of the situation. So it's like it makes for good TV, but we also have to remember, and I always tell people this, and this is one of the things I want to say about Ashley, because people have been giving her the blues, and I don't like it. I don't like it. But Ashley is like the sweetest person that I know. Like, honestly, she will give you her left arm if you needed it. And we all have things that we need to grow from. And I remember being 36 and needing to do a little more developing. And at the end of the day, one of the things that we can all say is actually it's some good damn TV. Okay, y'all are talking about her every week. The first thing everybody says is Ashley. Her one clip has gone viral several times. So it's one of those things where I'm like, well, are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? So same with Tabari. He's being shown as this like goofy person, but then let's also remember he's in hospitality, so he has to be very like friendly with people when they come into his family's restaurant. He's in real estate, so he has to be friendly and personable with people when he's dealing with them, when he's trying to sell them a house. So it's like, this is who he is. This is one side of him, but people are multifaceted. We're multidimensional. We're not just one thing. And when people say, oh, you can be this, yeah, I can be that, but I also am this across the board. So we just have to remember, like, nobody is just one take.
Yeah. I would say too, going back to what Mo said about people's Instagram. So when you're on a TV show, the producers do the editing, right? When you are your Instagram, you do the editing, right? So I had a really hard day today. I had a very bad day today. That's not showing up on my Instagram feed, right? Because I'm editing it to basically support what I want you to know. So I found, and even being a publicist and working in production and producing on several reality shows, I know that a lot of times people don't see themselves. We all want to believe that we are our Instagram reel. So that's, I'm the cool guy all the time. I'm the fly girl all the time. But the reality is probably a little bit someplace in the middle, because the producers are going to pick out what is going to make TV, right? And then you're going to pick out what makes you look good. And the truth probably is somewhere in the middle of that, because producers can only, except in the case of Camille's case, there was a producer used something that was not said, at least to what our knowledge. But producers can't use what you don't give them. So it may be the worst side of you, but it's still a side that you showed. So you kind of have to take accountability and then say, I think audiences appreciate when people are like, you know what? I was mad. Y'all got the mad me. And now it is what it is. But when people try to act like I'm nothing like it, it's kind of like most people's friends are like, yeah, that kind of is them. Just a little bit. Like it just is somewhere in between. And sometimes we're not always cognizant of who we are. But I would just, to most part, like the Instagram is not, you know me in real life. I know you in real life. Your Instagram feed does not show who you are. It shows Scorpio Moe, not, I won't say your government, but you know what I mean? Like you can't rely on that. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
So
it seeps out though.
It will. It does. And even when people don't know, it seeps out.
When you watch closely, you can see it seeps out.
I agree 100%. Before we leave Vern, I think that another good point you brought up, Zadia, is like age, right? Because we get on here and we talk and we can be, people can be critical, but the reality is all of us have acted like all four of you at one point, right? That's just reality. So I guess when I say for Ashley, it's because I feel so passionately about it, because I don't want women, specifically young women, to think that you have to ask for more, because really a man will give you what you deserve if you show up that way. So if he doesn't, move on, find somebody that does. It's not because we're saying Ashley is bad or stupid or any of those things. It really is just a learning experience for all of us. And just like you can remember being 36, I can remember being your age and even growing and still saying, okay, I did this. And God knows if I was on reality TV in my 20s, what would have happened? You know what I mean? Same thing with Mo. So the great thing is that this is an opportunity for all of us to grow and learn from you guys' mistakes. I guess we learn from the people on reality TV. But the reason I said that is because I think Vern, she comes across, and she did in her first season too, as a person that's a little bit more seasoned in knowing who she is. And so a lot of times the energy that you give is the energy that you're going to get. And so with Vern, we don't ever see her really having those moments. And I'm sure it's not because she doesn't get angry or she doesn't, pop off, but she knows who she is and she's confident and she's not still searching. And that's why the response to her on dates, I told her I was like, you're like my favorite dater on the show, just because you can tell she goes in, she knows if I'm not into him, it's okay. I can be kind, I can be sweet, I can show up as myself. And we don't get a lot of extras from her because she's a little bit more seasoned and she really is at a different place in life. With Ashley, I think we see that she's learning, she's figuring things out, she's trying to get it right. She was real honest about that. She was like, I don't want to make the same mistakes I did before. With Charisse, we see somebody that, in my opinion, I've told her that, has been hurt a lot in her past, comes off as very defensive, comes off as somebody that has a guard up and is not necessarily open a lot. And that comes across like she has some work to do. So that is my segue into tonight. Now, before we get into what happened tonight, I told you I wanted you to be able to speak to what she shared when she was here. She was our last guest. The interview was great. We had a good time, but she was very, very candid about her perspective on you guys' relationship. And I said, Zadia, I want to offer you an opportunity, because she gave some pretty loaded, she said a lot of things that I feel like I wanted you to respond to. specifically when it comes to colorism, because we didn't see that tonight, but that is a huge touch button on any show. And
Right.
with us being Black women and this show being a channel of a Black woman, I really felt like I got to have Zadia to be able to explain her side and respond to that. So with that being said, I'm going to give you the floor, because I'm sure she said a lot about you guys' relationship, but those were the things I thought was really, dangerous.
Well, the reality of the situation is that we didn't have a relationship. That's it. One of the things that she like at the beginning, it was love across the board for everyone. First of all, we all came from our perspective Ready to Love seasons, and I mean we've all experienced Ready to Love and how it is to be on TV, how it is to be perceived by the public and reacted to by the public, right? So for me, is my main goal was to come in without any preconceived notions about anyone. So I even though I watched Vern and Ashley's season because they were on seasons prior to me, I did not watch Cherie's season. I didn't watch any season after mine. Actually, I have not watched any season since then because it really does trigger you a little bit. So there was no issue with me and Cherie. Cherie's family is actually from St. Thomas. My family is from St. Croix. Those are both islands in the Virgin Islands. And I was telling her, like, from the beginning, like, girl, we could be cousins because that's how close the families are in St. Croix. Like, we could be cousins, child, da 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 da. Now, she is a little spicier than I would normally deal with in terms of just like how she responds to things. But at the end of the day, it was all love. Like, we're here, we're on this journey together. I want us to have a good time in New Orleans. Like, we have to live together, child. Let's just knock this out and get it over with. It wasn't until that whole switcheroo that she pulled on me when she opened the door. I called her. I said good morning because she keeps saying I didn't say good morning. That's not even the type of person I am. I said good morning. I apologized for even contacting her. The reason why I had her number is because she gave me her number. That's how cool we were. So let's just talk about it. And even the girls will attest to the fact that, like, we probably were getting along better than everybody else in the house at the beginning. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of things in common. Like, we are two bougie girls. I'm not gonna hold you. She might be a little bougier than I am, but we are two bougie girls. So it was just one of those things where it was just like, okay, vibes, energy, yay. But when I called her and I asked her to open the door, she came and she opened the door for me, and she was not the first person I called. I called everybody else. I did not know how to get into the house because we did not have keys. They did not brief us on how to get into the house or any other sort. So it was many a days that all of us were locked out and had to ask each other to open the door. So that morning when she opened the door, we had a whole chit chat up the steps. She was like, "Did you have fun?" I'm telling her, "Yeah, I had a good time. It was so much fun. I learned so much about this man, blah, 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 blah." And we're going up to the rooms. I go to sleep. I say, "I'll see you later, girl," because I was tired. I had not slept the whole night. So when she did what she did in that scene, because we had a powder room that we all got ready in together. Mm-hmm. And prior to that scene, we were in the powder room, and me and Sharice little vanity areas was right next to each other. And the whole time she was like, "What should I do with my makeup? How should I do it?" I'm over here like, "Oh, you should do like a little ombre situation. Let me show you what the colors to use." Like, we're chit-chatting like everything's normal. Then we sit down in front of Tamika, and all of a sudden there's a problem. And I'm like, okay, well, why did she say this while we were chit-chatting about all that stuff for that whole hour? Like, why would
wait a minute? Let me just interject. So you're saying that up until that conversation, you did not know Sharice was irritated, that she felt like you had woken her out of her sleep. She spoke with you afterwards. You're saying all that is not the case.
No, and let's even run it back a little bit further than that. When I asked the question, when I posed the question, "Hey, how do y'all feel about having company?" And when she expressed that she was uncomfortable, let me just tell y'all, first of all, I was sexually assaulted in my house. Okay, when I had a roommate, she brought somebody over. He came into my room. He sexually assaulted me. So when she said that, immediately it was like, okay, I don't even want to hear the story. You don't have to tell me nothing else. Meanwhile, everybody else was like, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Yet she decided to have a problem with me about that instead of addressing the people that weren't even like considering anything that she could have gone through. You know, and I'm not trying to throw nobody under the bus because they would tell you they would tell you they were gonna do what they wanted to do, and I was like, nah, y'all. Like, if she has a problem, let's just respect everybody. Like, we can just go to where we need to go or have people wherever we need to have them, but let's respect everybody in this house. And that was my whole thing. So back to the scene that we were in with Tamika. She throws out there that she had to open the door for me. I'm over here like, so first of all, one, what's the problem? Are you mad because I asked if people can come over? Are you mad about that? Are you mad that you had to open the door for me? Which, like, what are you mad about? Because I'm not understanding right now. Right now, you're just throwing out things to be upset and irritated about, and to like stir up a problem with me. So in that moment, I was just like, let it go, Zadia. Like, we're all new. We don't know each other. We can figure this out. But it wasn't until after that scene was over where we went upstairs and I was like, okay, let me just pull everybody into the room so I can get better understanding on how I need to move in this house. Because if we got people that's going to be talking about everything that's happening off camera, then let me know now, because I'm going to make sure that I move a little differently. You know, like, clearly this is a house that cannot be trusted. Like, I'm not going to start doing anything that I want to do, right? So she blows up. She's cursing me out. She tells me that she's doing what she's paid to do. She's telling me, like, she's calling for production, talking about, y'all better come get this bitch. So that was, y'all seeing her call me a bitch wasn't the first time she called me a bitch. Y'all better come get this bitch, blah, 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 blah. And she's talking to me crazy. So after that moment, I was like, okay, she's one of those people that cannot be trusted. So what I treated her like a coworker. What do we do with coworkers? We don't follow them on social media. We don't talk about our business with coworkers. We meet at the water cooler. We're like, okay, girl, yeah, yo, the sky is blue. Yes, the sun is out. Amen. Praise the Lord. And you keep it moving. You keep it real short, real sweet. So that's one of the reasons why she said she didn't feel the love for me, because if you are snitching on me, you're not going to feel the love for me. If you're disrespecting me and you're talking to me in a tone that is disrespectful, you're not going to feel the love for me. In the kitchen scene, for instance, they didn't even show how serious the kitchen scene got. It was a point where, because mind you, I was standing on the other side of the kitchen, and the reason why you saw a scene where she was near me is because she charged at me as if she was about to try to fight me. Yelling, screaming, cursing me out. Meanwhile, I'm talking to her in a calm voice like, girl, it's not even that deep. None of this is that deep. Ever. It's never that deep for me. Like, we're grown. Like, it's never that deep for me. If you have a problem, tell me you have a problem. I'm going to apologize, because honestly and truly, nobody wants no problems with nobody. Like, it's all good in the hood. So after that whole situation, I was just like, okay, whatever. The only reason why they got me in another scene with her, actually trying to talk to her, is because she started isolating herself. And the girls were really like, man, we don't want it to be like this whole time. Da, 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 da. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just, I'll sit down. I'll talk to her. I don't want her to be isolated in her room this whole time. I don't want I don't want anyone New Orleans experience or this experience to be ruined because of some foolishness, like a clear misunderstanding, right? So I try to talk to her. She curses me out again.
Is that the scene that we saw
when I was talking to her? Oh, this shit. Da, 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 da. I'm like, what? I'm talking to you like a regular person, and you're yelling and screaming at me in my face because we're sitting on the same couch. So now it's just like, okay, hey, so you don't have to worry about me. I won't talk to you ever again. And that's really where it was at. It's like, hey, if y'all want to go hang with her, y'all go hang with her. I'm gonna go do my own thing. Y'all have fun. But she wasn't like coming out of her room. So when she came to me a couple of days later on the porch, even though she still clearly had some issue because she's in the confessional cursing me out again, it was just one of those things where I was just like, listen, I'm tired. It's about to be my birthday, child. I am not trying to have no beef in this. This is not what I came for. I came to actually like have a good time, to meet the ladies, and to find a man if possible. You know, and that's really where it was at. So her saying that I didn't like her because she was light skinned is asinine. And honestly and truly, at one point I was like, it's no point to even give that any type of life, because here she is clearly watching my old season. That's why she kept saying, oh, you're aggressive, you're a bully, when not in now one of them scenes have you seen me be aggressive, a bully, or a mean girl towards her. She said,
where did the color conversation even come from?
Well, right. That was like later in when we were filming, and she actually walked into a conversation where someone was asking me about Miami, and the person was like, you know, would you go to Miami? And I was like, oh no, I'm not really a Miami girl. Miami's not brown girl friendly. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, if you've been to Miami, you would know that if you're not racially ambiguous, you're not really winning. You're not getting pulled into the club like the rest of the girls. So this is just based off of my experience that I've had. I said LA and Miami are two of the places that I do like. I don't really enjoy going because I don't get treated like I get treated when I go to Atlanta, to Houston, to DC, like to chocolate cities. I don't get treated. Huh?
I've heard that before.
Yeah, I don't get treated the same way.
People said that the guys on that season did not like Black women. That was a huge thing for that season. But I think we have, you know, everything is subjective. I mean,
everybody has their preference, and y'all have fun with y'all preference. But my thing is, I'm gonna go where the love is, child. The love is in Houston, the love is in Atlanta, the love is in DC. I'm gonna go to those cities and have a good time. And when she came into the conversation, she asked me what's racially ambiguous. I defined it. I was like, you know, it's when you actually like look at someone, you really can't tell their ethnicity. You don't know what's going on with them. You know they might have a little black in them, but it's a lot of other stuff. And I said, it's like you. Like when I look at you, I can't exactly say, oh, she's Puerto Rican, oh, she's black, oh, she's this. It's like you. And that's when she started going into, well, you think I got everything because I'm light skinned? I'm like, that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Yeah, because she said that statement was wild, was a heavy one. I wanted to ask you about that. She said that you said that she was where she's at. She's been successful with her business because of her skin color.
No, I never said that. I didn't. One of the things that I hate about this whole conversation is, first of all, let's define colorism. Colorism is when people are prejudiced against people because of their skin complexion, not light skin. It's dark skinned people. Okay, it's when it's dark skinned people basically being marginalized because of their skin complexion. So if it was colorism, it wouldn't have been that way. It wouldn't have been me being colorist against Sharice. It would be me having a problem with darker skinned people. Period. Let's talk about that. Secondly, I hate even saying this, but I literally have a whole side of my family that's lighter than Sharice. That's the strangest thing to me. Like, I do makeup. I train women only. I don't have an issue with no light-skinned woman. Now, what I do have an issue with is a woman that disrespects me on a continuous basis and thinks that she can talk to me crazy, and then thinks that I'm gonna still love her after she done talk to me crazy. Girl, no. And the other thing that I want to address from what she said is the fact that she was like, oh, she didn't want to take my advice. She didn't want to listen to me. Hey, ma'am, we are all here together in the same house, on the same playing field, trying to find love. We are all here together with Tamika guiding us through this journey. Why am I listening to you? I have older brothers and sisters. I have 4 older brothers and sisters that have been successful in their lives thus far. That's who I listen to. I have friends that love me and that talk to me from a loving place. That's who I listen to. My friends and my sisters and my brothers are not calling me bitches. And not saying slick stuff like, oh, I don't go to men's houses. I'm not a hoe. This is stuff that she's saying. Calling women nappy head. This is stuff that she's saying. Talking about about all the people on her season. I don't deal with those mother effers. They're nappy heads. They're this. They're that. This is stuff that she's saying about these people. And I'm like, huh? Like, if you say that about them, what you gonna say about me, child? Like, what is happening? So it's just one of those things where we're just not people that will get along.
Yeah.
And the reality of the situation is, I'm not one of those like follower. I'm not a follower. Mm-hmm. I lead myself, and I allow everybody around me to lead themselves. And if if you're trying to control me and try to act like you're the HBIC in my life, then yeah, you're gonna have a problem. You're gonna come up against the wall every time, because it's not gonna that's not how I roll. We can have difference of opinions. We can disagree. Like Christal, we even talked, and we had our own little own opinions in the conversation, and we still were able to get to common ground because we were both courteous in the way that we approached our opinions. Yeah. And that's all I ask for is, when I talk to people, you give me respect, just like I'm gonna give you respect. You understand that what I feel is valid, just like I'm gonna understand what you feel is valid. And that's all I'm saying. So yeah, I want to the validity of her statement is asinine. This is gonna be the one and only time I talk about this. I'm not even gonna entertain it. We have seen in every scene that me and Sharice have been in where she has disrespected me in some type of capacity, and that's not even the worst of it. Let's talk about it, because the production has been saving her left and right. Because even tonight's scene, she said all time, "You ain't shit. You ain't never gonna be shit." This is stuff that she's talking to me about. I'm like,
hold on. Hold on. I want to address Mr. Don't Play just before we move forward, because there's more I want to ask you about that. But he said, y'all let her make up a new definition for colorism without resistance is wild. She was off on describing colorism. So I want to, I'm a fact checker. So this is the Oxford definition of colorism. It is a prejudice or discrimination against individuals with dark skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic or racial group. Colorism within the Black community has been a emotional and psychological battle. However, I will read that one more time. It is a prejudice or discrimination against individuals with dark skin tone amongst people of the same or ethnic racial group. So I just, don't come on my channel trying to check me on not checking a guest on the thing.
But also, Christal, can we talk about, I think some people look at me and they see regular Black. My mom's side of the family is Panamanian. Yeah. Okay, so that means that my people are from Panama by way of Barbados. That means that they're from the Caribbean. The Caribbeans and the South America has some of their population. They literally, classism is based off of the color of your skin. Yeah. All right. My dad people are from the Virgin Islands. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm not even low key. I'm not gonna get reparations. I'm not even American for real. So it's just one of those things where it's like I understand colorism. I understand the impact that colorism has on a family. I understand the impact that colorism has on you getting an education. I understand the impact that colorism has on you getting land. I understand that. I understand that from my family. There is no in my house, we didn't really talk about it and deal with it. But my mom has told me stories. She has sisters that are one complexion that were able to do certain things that she was not able to do because she's of a darker hue. There's no vitriol. There's no hate. There's no disdain for it. But it's an understanding. And I think that people, because they heard me say, "Oh, Brown Girl Squad," it was like, "Oh, she hates the other side of town." It's like, no, I love me. And it's almost like a brown girl can't love themselves without hating a light-skinned girl. And that's not true. I love who I am. I love my skin complexion. I love being able to get a little bit darker every summer. I love that. And I have so many people that I love that are of a lighter complexion that doesn't make any sense to even try to sit here and be like, "Oh, she don't like light." Like, what? Are you kidding me? And then the other thing, one more thing I need to address, because she acted like she knew me, talking about me and my sisters. Hey, when one person wins in my family, everybody wins, babes. I have a house. My sister's having an event at my house tomorrow. We're all winning. My sister is a comedian. She's about to be famous for real, for real. We're all winning. My brother, my older sister have houses. They let me stay there when I didn't have any place to live. We're all winning. There's not a competition here. This is a group effort for legacy, for love, for family. And some people don't understand that, so they speak against it. Sharice, you don't understand that. You don't have it. And that's okay.
Sharice is
when we were trying to love you, you didn't want us to love you. And that's okay too. So please don't speak on my name like that ever again, like you know me, because we never had conversations like that. We never had conversations to where she can know if I'm fucking Cam, if I'm doing this, that, or the other. We never had any conversations like that. Okay? So
hold on, Zadia. Before, because I don't want to
get riled up. It's passionate.
I know. Let's bring it back down. Let's bring it back down. There is one more piece to that, and I just want to be clear. It's fair for everybody to be able to have their say. And Sharice did come and make those statements, so I understand why Zadia wants to clear that up on her side. I do want to ask you, so outside of that, and I'm glad we had that kind of conversation to explain the definition of colorism. I'm not saying that there can't be discrimination, but a lot of times people respond based on what has happened to them. And all of us that are here in this country are mixed with other stuff. Like, so it's not really like that's, but unfortunately we keep this thing going. And Ready to Love is a show that has consistently, not just Ready to Love, because we've also talked about it on other reality shows as well. But moving past that, let's talk about the situation with LJ, because that was brought up tonight. Ironically,
well, can we say one more thing about that? I want with colorism, one of the people that I follow on Instagram that speaks specifically to this issue is Colorism Healing, at Colorism Healing, and it's a conversation that she's having where we can heal through colorism, right? So it's like, and she actually was on Love and Hip Hop. She did the round table for Love and Hip Hop for this last issue that they had with Erica Mena and Spice. So I really feel like if you want to be educated more, definitely go follow her. But then also, if you are a person that feels like, oh, people didn't like me because I was light skinned, or people didn't like me because I was dark skinned, go to her page so you can start finding like a way to heal from that. I feel like a lot of people will project that onto other people and then trying to make it seem like that's the reason why they don't like them, when it's really your attitude, babes. It's you. It is because you're bringing stuff into it.
I don't know, Zadia. We got to say it on both sides though, because I grew up, my mother is biracial, right? So, and my mom had situations where she was treated very badly by brown skinned women. I'm the darkest person in my family, my mom, my brother, and my dad, which was difficult, you know what I mean, for me. So, and listening to my mom's conversation, my mom would say things and I'd be like, oh my God. But once I got older and we understood, she did feel some kind of way about how she had really long hair. Her hair was cut. She was picked on. I have another girlfriend that got picked on a lot because of what she looked. So I think there is pain on both sides. I was blessed enough to be able to work with Bill Duke that did the documentary Brown Dark Girl, and then he did one light skin, because I think there's pain on both sides. And I don't, even though the definition of colorism specifically speaks to that with darker skinned people, we can't say that there's not pain that has come on the other side. And me as a girl that grew up feeling like, man, I am tired of constantly being compared to lighter skinned people. And I hated that, discriminated against. I also had a mother who was able to tell me, this is what happened to me, so I could understand the other side. Healing has to come from both sides. So I like the fact that you gave that, but I don't necessarily think that means they haven't healed. We're just all speaking from our own perspectives, right?
But that's a sign. That's when you encounter new people and you're instantly going to that place, that is a sign of like, that shows you that there's area that still needs healing. That's all I'm saying.
But if that was the case, though, if that's the case, then we can't say that Miami is not dark girl friendly, because brown girl friendly, because that's
what I was saying. I said that was my experience there. So therefore, I don't like going there like that. That's not a place right. That's not a place that I land.
As a person that is lighter skinned, saying I don't I don't like that. I'm just saying we all are speaking from our experiences. So there's but
it's different for me to say like, hey, I don't really like going to Miami because it's not brown girl friendly versus, hey, she doesn't like me because I'm light skinned. There's a difference there. And it's like there's some type of projection and some type of insecurity that person has, instead of asking the person, because me and Sharice never had conversations about her being light skinned, me being dark, me being brown skinned girl, and all that other stuff. So there's a difference there. And she came here to tarnish my image by saying that. First of all, I do makeup. I work with women. Like, if I'm sitting here and I only like brown skinned girls, and that's like that right there that's tarnishing. That's damaging. That's defamation of character, and that's not okay. So right. I think one of the things that we need to do, and I will do this too. You know what I mean? It's like sit back and be like, hey, so what part did I play in this?
Yeah. It's not right to assume or stereotype. Mo, where you at, sir? You've been quiet for like 30
minutes.
I like your brown complexion personally. Yeah, I just wanted to put that in there. No, I see it, and I understand. I'm as being a brown skinned brother and listening to dark skinned women and light skinned women and hearing both sides. I hear the conversation a lot, and I used to think it was one sided until I started to hear the other side. But truthfully, I'm not color struck. I just like women of color. So I mean, black women in general. So I'm not tripping, but it is a real thing, and light-skinned women do catch it too.
Well, but they don't catch colorism, because colorism, when we look at colorism, it's a society issue. It's right. Your proximity to whiteness that gets you into doors that darker skinned people cannot get into. That like we're talking about it in the black community, but we have to also think about it when it comes on a greater scale.
On a worldly,
on a worldly scale.
The entire world praises lighter complexion.
The closer you are, the closer proximity you have to whiteness, the better you'll be treated, the more access you will have, and that's just the reality of the situation. That's the truth. So what I just want us to do is just get better at defining and understanding what we're saying, because people were saying, oh, reverse colorism. That's just like you saying reverse racism. We can't sit here and be superior to white people. We can't decide to do that. Like, that's not how that world works, you know? So it's like one of those things that you have to understand, that when lighter complected people do get like harassed in the black community, that's a visceral effect of colorism. It's not colorism though. And I just want us to get clear on the definitions. That's all.
No, I just think that they catch it too. They get
absolutely. My brother and my sister used to be called light bright.
Right.
I mean, even in our house we'd be laughing and we call them like we'll walk around and say translucent.
It's weird though, because with women and men, this is what I don't like, and I want us to move on because I didn't want us to be this long. But it's weird because, you know, in the entertainment industry especially, Adrian was like, talk about those lyrics. I've done studies on how male rappers will praise color, you know, light-skinned women or whatever. But it's weird because with men, light-skinned men, you know, we praise light-skinned women and dark-skinned men in our culture. So I have, my husband is biracial. I've got friends that are biracial, and they're always like, man, I got a really hard time because of being biracial. He was like, I got picked on. Guys were mean to me. I always had to prove myself. One of my friends told me, and Mo, you know him, he had, you know, big curly hair, and he was like, I had to cut my hair because guys kept thinking I was weak or I was soft because of being light skinned and being so. It's negativity on both sides for both genders. I, as a woman who is brown skinned, has definitely encountered discrimination because of my color, and then growing up with a mother that is very biracial, that very fair skinned, and having a daughter that's very fair skinned. When you constantly have to hear, why don't you like your mother? That was a lot growing up. But you got to move past it. And I agree with you, go where you're loved. You know what I mean? So I have any guy, and tell me the guy who just likes, you know, light skin. Oh, good for you, sir. And this is what I do. But I think when we judge and quantify ourselves, it just breaks us down, because white people are looking at us like, all y'all are Negroes and we don't care about none of it. But Mo, I want you to say your point, and then I want to ask Zadia about LJ.
No, I think I don't think I know. It's like not you didn't
Hold
do.
on. Kiki has asked, can you undo another button, Mo? Just to lighten the mood, can Mo undo another button? I don't know if he's able, but I tried to help you out, girl.
So like I'm saying, like I've seen situations where someone was trying to introduce me to a woman, right? And, you got to meet her. She's this, she's that, and they'll say she's light skinned, and they'll say it in a way where I was supposed to get points for that or something. They said every other description was just she works here, she's this, and she's light skinned, and I'm just like, why do they emphasize that? Like that was supposed to mean something to me.
Yeah,
I never understood. Like I don't know, man.
And you've actually told me that sometimes women that are not light skinned would assume that you prefer light skin and you don't.
No, I get that all the time.
What's your preference, Mo?
I'm brown. I go brown.
Girl, you have been his preference this whole season, Zadia. Don't play with me.
Nah,
don't play with me, Zadia. You have been the preference all season.
Listen.
He just said y'all caught that he was just like, I like your brown skin, Zadia.
No, because she was like,
you team Kelly or you team Beyonce? Which one now?
I'll take Kelly. I'll jump over 3 Beyoncés for 1 Kelly.
I'll do both. They both baddies in my book.
and said, he said, I'll jump over 3. Everybody has their preference.
Okay, now.
Everybody has their preference. All right, let's talk about LJ because I still want to. We want to have a few people to be able to come up, but I want us to get this out the way, and then I want some people to have questions for Zadia. Y'all got to get the likes up before we do that. But I want Zadia to speak to what did you see? What did we miss?
LJ and Sharice kissing in a tree.
What kind of kiss was it, Zadia?
So the thing about it is, like, what was weird, and I'm going to start here. What was weird was everyone had a woman show up except for Sharice. So it was definitely a side eye from that. I was like, so what's going on here? But I had remembered the initial conversation we had at the beginning of before we started filming the whole season, where she was like, I don't mess with none of them MFers. And I was like, okay, this makes sense. So now she has a guy here because she don't mess with the rest of them girls. Okay, cool. So it was just one of those things where like we were all saying bye to our friend that had came to the house. And I wasn't the only one that saw this. Now, I'm not making this stuff up. You know what I mean? I'm not assuming and just and just pulling stuff out the air like some people do. They walked to the door, they were saying bye, and they kissed. And everybody looked at each other like, what the hell's going on here?
Where?
On the lips?
Lips?
It was kiss, it was lip to lip. It was locking lips.
Did it linger?
It did. My whole thing is, hey, Crystal and Mo, have y'all kissed each other before the lips?
Absolutely not.
We talked about that. I was like, I'm not.
My friend that I brought on Ready to Love DC, we have never kissed. My guy friends, we have never kissed in the mouth. It might be a little cheek action, like, oh girl, I love you situation. That's it. But kissing is kissing, and we were all confused. I mean, it was a conversation piece. Like, okay, so what's going on now? My intention was never to bring it up until she kept bringing me and Cam up in different scenes that I was not in, and it was getting back to me. So after that date that me and Cam had, when I was in a polka dot dress and he was just blabbering off at the mouth, I'm over here like, Lord, save this man and save me. We were supposed to do a house reality. So what y'all see when we're sitting in the house, that was called house reality. That's when we were sit and we were discussed, we were debrief about whatever happened that day. So we were supposed to have a house reality when I got back to the house, but I was like, absolutely not. I'm tired. I'm done. It was like almost 10:30 at night. I was like, I'm good. So Sharice, Vern, and Ashley were in the kitchen, and they were doing house reality. And Sharice was like, oh yeah, Cam and Zadia. It was just like talking real bad about us.
What about y'all bad though? What could be bad about y'all?
She just be making up stuff, child. When she started drinking, the things start getting twisted in her brain, child. I don't know what's going on there. But she was talking about us. She had gone out with I allowed her, because let's be clear, we were not cool like that. They were like, do you want Sharice to come out with you on your birthday? This was not the birthday that y'all saw on camera. It was the actual, it was like our celebration after the cameras went down. I said, go ahead and let her come. Like, we're having a good time. It's love, whatever. Like, we're going to have a good time. I even have a video of me dancing with Sharice. We were having a good time. So she supposedly saw me crying on a log. Nobody else saw this, but supposedly that's what she saw. And she decided to bring that up in scene with Vern and Ashley when I was not there. So, of course, Ashley and Vern both love me. They let me know what was said when I was not there. And I'm over here like, oh, so she's like, we're supposed to be quote unquote cool. And you decided we talked about not talking about things that happen off camera. Yet here you are trying to still diminish my character by still bringing up things that are happening off camera, not even truthful things. So when we sat down and she was like bringing up Donald and sleeping with the girl, and I'm over here like, why would Donald even bring somebody like that on the show? And that's when she was like, oh, y'all saw it. Oh, you never seen my show? I was like, no, I haven't seen it. I've never seen Miami. I promise you. It's not no shade. I like watch the clips, but it's literally like watching the whole show is traumatizing. I'm not gonna hold you. So it was just one of those things where I was like, I didn't see it, and she decided to describe it. And I'm like, oh well, speaking of LJ, what's going on with y'all? Like, did y'all like what's happening? And she's like, oh, we just dated on the show, and we're friends. And I was like, well, I don't be kissing my friends in the mouth, which I don't kiss my friends in the mouth. And it was a key little moment.
Yeah.
And she went off. She threw water at the camera. Y'all didn't see that. Oh. She started cursing the camera people out, the producer out, me out. She told me I ain't never gonna be shit. Oh, like, Lord, well, my parents think I am. Somebody thinks I'm shit. I don't know.
You are funny as hell, Zadia. You stay unbothered. We noticed that tonight. I was like, Zadia remains unbothered, which makes people angrier.
Well, the thing about it is, like, if every time someone disrespects me verbally and I pop them in the mouth, I'm gonna be in jail.
True.
So it's like you have to decide if you're gonna be a clown in the circus. I don't want to be no clown in the circus. I'm gonna let you be the clown by yourself, and I'm gonna sit here and just be like, dang, you really upset, ain't you? You mad? You real mad? Oh, look at you, poor Tink Tink. Now you see how I feel every time you be bringing up my shit. Like, what the hell? So it was just one of those situations where I was just like, I didn't know. I literally brought it up as a joke. It was like, okay, like just fly by. Like,
but the reaction.
When she gave me that reaction, I said, "Ooh, child, let me."
Time out. You brought it up as a joke.
It was.
You want to try and be a little petty?
No, I wasn't. My intention in that moment when I said it, I was not being petty, because if I was being petty, you would know I was being petty. Okay. I don't operate in that place and space. But one of the things that I realized about myself is I'm very sarcastic, and my brain works faster than my mouth most of the time. I don't know, but it's just one of those things where it was just like, as soon as I saw that I got her, after that I was being petty. As soon as she started getting upset, I was being petty. I ain't gonna hold you. When I was like, oh, you mad? Your heart rate racing? That was me being like, aha, gotcha, got him. That was me being like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you fired back real quick about when she was like, y'all can kiss my ass.
Oh, well, that's from coming from Atlanta. I was raised in Atlanta, in a land of sarcasm. I was like, I have 4 sisters where we talk like that. Me and my friends do banter like that all the time. That was easy money.
Thought it was light work.
That was light work. I honestly and truly, I don't think we've seen how I can truly get down when it comes to verbal like matches. We haven't seen that yet.
Well, I do want to ask you, because a couple of people brought up, and you and I talked about this, your season, you have been extremely laid back this season. We don't see anybody get your get to you or get up under your skin, can you quickly explain for the people? And I'm gonna put the link in the chat. So if you have a question for Zadia, now don't come on here being disrespectful, y'all. Y'all know how we do this. Right. I don't do disrespect. If you do anything disrespectful, I'm gonna kick you out. But if you have your pajamas on and you have a question for Zadia, I'm gonna put the link in the chat for you to quickly come on. Now look here, you don't be disrespectful. And you have a quick. We're gonna
keep
do
it cute.
Keep it cute. We're gonna do a 3-minute window, right? Because we can't have everybody. We want to be able to give a few people a chance to come on. But while I'm putting the link in the chat, Zadia, I want you to quickly explain to people your version of what happened with you and Dante, because someone did say, well, it wasn't that way when you mushed Dante, and they said mush. I know we had a difference on that word. But I'm trying to find that quote. He said that was that forehead smush of Dante. So
I didn't smush Dante's forehead. I tapped him on the nose. Either one is not right, but I definitely, y'all please go back and watch that scene. I tapped him on the nose. Okay, so there's that. Also, y'all still remember it, and me and Dante over here kikiing about it now. So that's kind of like one of those things that's kind of weird, but well, the thing about me and Dante, and I wasn't able to really speak on this because the network was telling people that they should not interview me, and I did speak about this on a platform, so you can go watch that. I'm not gonna give it any light though. So me and Dante had been really cool throughout the entire filming. The reason why Dante was even still on the show was because of me. And that's, I'm not even trying to throw no shade, but I mean, people that were in the deliberation can confirm that he was in my top, and I was saving him every week to week. It wasn't until after the house scene where all that stuff happened with Aisha that he started acting like he was acting real funny before then, and he was acting funny in the house. So in the house, I picked Nye, we moved on. The next day they called me and they're like, oh, come to this place to meet, come to this place at this time. And I'm like, who am I meeting? And they're like, oh, you'll know when you get there. I'm like, no, who am I meeting? Because I need to know who I'm meeting. I'm not about to play this game. I don't want to, I'm tired. I'm exhausted because it was like maybe week 7 by that time. I was exhausted. I was tired. So prior to me going to that call time, I was texting Dante because I had not told Dante that I picked Nye in the deliberation. Of course, everybody gonna be like, you didn't pick Nye, but y'all don't see the things that they don't want you to see. I picked Nye. I was trying to tell Dante to let him know because I wanted to be courteous, and I just really believe in like communicating and not blindsiding people. And he did not answer any of my texts. This was right before we had that meetup when he was eating the risotto. And I was like, hey, if this is you that I'm meeting today, I would rather us work this out via phone, and then we can do whatever we need to do in the scene. But like, we have not talked, we have not spoken. Things are definitely tense, and I don't want to be in scene dealing with this. And he does not respond. So next thing you know, they tell me I'm about to meet Dante. I'm already at the restaurant. They telling me I'm about to meet Dante. I pack up my things. I politely pick up all of my stuff. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll see y'all later. And the production was like, no, what's going on? Why are you leaving? I was like, I don't have anything to say to Dante. I've been texting him all day. He has not responded. I've called him at least 3 times. He has not responded. So I'm not about to sit in scene with him to have a conversation that he clearly has been ignoring me all day. I don't want to do that. So they sit me down for, it was like 2 hours that they like were sitting me down. They were talking. He just wants to apologize for how he's been treating you, how he's been ignoring you, what he's been doing. He just wants to apologize. Just hear him out. And I'm just like, he could apologize via text. Like, why are we doing this? What is happening? And they're trying to convince me. They're like, okay, well, just give us like 5 minutes in the scene, hear him out, and then you can leave. So when I sit down in front of him, the reason why I had the face that I had is because I'm waiting for my apology. Like, what's up? Where you at? Because you've been acting like a real Mitch So what's going on? And that's when he blurts out, I'm interested. I didn't even hear it. I thought he said, I'm choosing Aisha. I didn't even hear it because I had like tequila ears at that point. So I thought he said, I'm choosing Aisha. And that's what I was like, okay, fine, whatever. But when I got to that elevator, my ego was like, oh, you want to embarrass me on national television? I'm about to embarrass your ass. And that's when I went back and did the whole like, you ain't shit. I pulled a Sharice on him. And yeah, that was like one of those moments where I'm looking back at it, and in real life, right? IRL, mm-hmm. He would have never heard from me again. Yeah. It would have been blocked. I would have blocked him on the Bible app, on the horoscope app, on the AT&T app, on the Instagram, Twitter, every app he would have been blocked on. He wouldn't have ever been able to get in touch with me again after doing all the stuff that he was doing and acting like that. Because my whole thing is like, one of the things that I'm really big on is just like setting some type of expectation. Like, hey, this is a situation that we're in. Let's just respect each other and make sure that we're very honest and open in communication with each other. I always have that conversation, mm-hmm. because I know how I can get, right? I know, like, when I feel like someone's playing with me and playing in my face, Big Zaza like to come out sometimes. She like to come out the closet and be like, who messing with Zadia? So it's one of those things that at the time I didn't have a lot of control over, right? And now, you really can't get underneath my skin. I also know how TV works. They want to get the worst of you and make that who you are. And my whole thing is like, hey, so this is not who I am. I'm not a person that goes around like knucking if you bucking all the time. Majority of the time, I ice people out. I don't even talk to them no more. You'll never be able to get back in touch with me. So a person like Sharice, after that first scene that we had where she was snitching, I would have never talked to her again. So as soon as I saw how she was moving, I was like, oh, girl, you got it.
I stood up for you on that part, by the way, too.
You know what? I'm now conjunction. I see. I'm gonna pull you up and just explain something. Conjunction. We have to. Your camera has to be on. You cannot come on this channel unless the camera is on. But we wish you a beautiful Friday night, and thank you for tuning in. But we have to. You have to see us. We have to see you if you come on. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else want to join? Conjunction was waiting there for a while. I just wanted to make sure that you guys know you cannot come on. I see other channels do that, and I don't like the aesthetics of it. I like you. We want to see you. We want to hear you, but we want to see you.
Time is that all that? You
gotta have your pajamas. If you just want to talk, you could be in the chat, and we can pick the chat. But we want to see you if you're here, because we're here. We're here. Zadia's here. She's got her Santa hat on. I do want to say, just to be fair, I appreciate you explaining that, but I think a few people are like, if men, everybody just has to act in kind, and I think that takes a lot. Oh, okay, girl. Hey, girl.
Hi, everyone. Hi,
hey, girlfriend.
How am I just watching you on a show and then now you're live? This is wild.
I
had to put on a bandana, a little. You
got yourself together, child.
You understand?
Quickly.
Welcome. What is your question? Welcome.
Okay, so this is my question. Like when a man shows you who they are, like you have to believe them, right? Like in a relationship, it's all about consistency. It's all about action. So, Cam was really busy. He's always saying, I'm really busy, but he's not like showing up for you in the way that you really want him to like show up for you. Like, how was your discernment? Did you feel like he's really here for me? Because I felt like he was attracted to you. He really liked you. But at the same time, he wasn't making time for you the way you wanted. Like, did you have red flags and you were like kind of like pushing it down and you're like, let me go through the process? Or were you feeling like in your heart, were you feeling like something's off about it? Like something's off about him. Maybe he's not feeling me the way I think that he's feeling me. Like, tell me like your real thoughts about Cam.
So the thing about it is, it was actually the opposite of what you're describing, right? So he was really busy, but he was always showing up. And although he was telling me he was really busy, he always showed up. And that's one of the conversations that we would have would be like, okay, like you keep bringing up the fact that you're busy, but somehow, some way, you're always showing up. So it was just one of those things where I just went with my gut. I was like, if he is under promising and over delivering, I'd rather have that than someone that over promises and under delivers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just where I was in that time, right? In real life, right? In my dating life, if I keep hearing the word busy, in my mind, I get like Angela Bassett when she blew up the car and
Waiting to Exhale.
Waiting to Exhale. I'm like, bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where, yeah, I just had to I had to decide what I was willing to deal with in that situation, and if there was a better option. And there was no better option presented to me, so I dealt with what I was presented.
I knew it.
Okay. That's real. That's real. Thank you.
Thank you, Conjunction. Thank you for joining us. And DM me for you, since you were our first guest tonight. I'm going to send you a beauty pack. So DM me your address so I can get that off to you. And there was another subscriber that I owe a beauty pack to. I just cannot find your address. So if you are watching, if you could DM me again, I'll get that out to you. I had it and I can't find your address. So send us your address, Zadia. She's okay.
Oh, bye, girlfriend.
All right. Anybody else want to join? We got a few more minutes and then we're going to jump off. Anybody else want to join? Anybody else? I know it's late, but anybody else have their pajamas on? You can join with a bonnet. Don't listen to Mo. You are welcome to join with a bonnet.
I was saying, could join with a bonnet?
He did. He told
me. That's a part of pajamas, though.
It is.
That's in the bed. We're not in the bed yet.
But you want women to protect their edges. What about the girls you've gone out with that don't have edges? You told me about that.
I told you how I even learned about that. I didn't know what y'all was talking about till somebody had to point it out to me. Remember I told you that?
You did, but you also have called me talking about what is wrong with this girl's hair and the girl didn't have edges.
Because y'all pointed out on each other, I know where to look. I didn't know what y'all were talking about. That's why I say sometimes y'all need to keep stuff in-house because we ain't even paying attention to that. That's what y'all paying attention to.
All right, hold on. Donna D has a question. She says, Richard appeared to be a pretty good choice. Y'all seem to have fun. Any feedback on your date with Richard?
Appeared.
and said, what is Cam's zodiac sign?
He's a Capricorn.
Ooh.
I know. Money making Capricorns, child.
Yeah, okay. Those are bad for me. Both those are bad. But you're a Gemini?
Yeah, the Capricorn. I mean, so the funny thing is, I actually dated this one dude that was a Capricorn, and we almost got married.
Oh.
Yeah. But he was about his money too. That's what I'm saying. Like I usually date men that are very successful in whatever they're doing, and they are highly ambitious, highly driven, and I like it. I love it.
Let me ask you this, audience.
Please be busy. I love it. Just don't tell me that you're busy, but please be busy.
We have been talking about this every week, and I've said I want your opinion because I said I don't understand these women that want all this time. Because usually men who make a lot of money don't have a lot of time. And usually men that have a lot of time don't have a lot of, don't have a lot, that do have a lot of time, don't have very much money. I would rather you be busy because I would rather, and I've talked to so many women that are like, I want this man who's an entrepreneur who, makes 6-7 figures, but has time to hang. I'm like, where are these people at?
Well, the thing is that, okay, so one of the things y'all weren't privy to is the fact that me and Cam were hanging out outside of cameras. The issue was when we were filming our dates for the show was during the time that he should have been at work, right? So those were during those hours. But from the time that he was available, he would call me and be like, let's go get something to eat. What are you doing? Like, let's hang out, this, that, and the other. So we didn't even have the conversation about being busy when we were out and about and having a good time on our own. I don't know why he was on repeat like that. I'm still trying to figure it out. We call each other, we talk about it, and he's like, The other day he texted me. He's like, I'm tired of myself. I said, yeah. You straight up embarrassed me on TV, child. Like, what is happening? But it's just one of those things where, you know, they pull what they need to pull. And if that was mentioned one time in the conversation, that's going to be pulled. And now that's going to be the whole, you know, point of the conversation. That's going to be what we talked about, right? So it's just one of those things where, you know, I feel like a man that even a busy man will make time.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Last question for you on this, because we didn't talk about. I want to talk about Maurice quickly before we get out of here. We got like 5 minutes. Question is: so if you and Cam really got along, would you consider moving to New Orleans?
I've moved for a man before.
So would you do it again?
Yeah.
To New Orleans.
we were talking about moving to Atlanta.
There you go.
Okay.
So we talked about that. We had, I don't know where the conversation went, but we talked about that because I was like, you know, what would be like a middle ground for you? Because you don't want to move to DC. New Orleans ain't really friendly. Like, it ain't Zadia friendly. I like it for a good time in a short time, but I don't like it for a long time. Yeah. And he was like, you know, I would consider moving to Atlanta. I was like, oh, Atlanta is definitely a place that I don't have a problem with going back to.
Okay. What's up, D Glove? Y'all, before we get out here, we got to talk about Maurice and Sharice. I got to say, I like the fact that Maurice brought his daughter. I was surprised that he brought his daughter on their date. I was also surprised at how short his shorts were. And that's all I have to say about that. They were super short.
Maurice was an interesting dresser. Like, his wardrobe was very, like, all over the place. I never knew what to expect from him. One day he would come in with some, like, this little holster thing, made him look like a young boy. And then the next day he'll come in with a Steve Harvey suit. And then the next day he'll come in with like the looks were just. I was like, bruh, who are you? Usually men have a look. Right. They don't have multiple looks unless they're dressing for theme. But I was very confused about Maurice, but he was friendly. He was a friendly guy.
I liked how he was dressed. I just was a little concerned about the length of the shorts. I did notice the holster thing, and I saw and the slides, the Louis Vuitton slides that he had on. It was very clear that he wanted to show us his labels, which is cool. A lot of guys are like that, but I do feel like sometimes more seasoned gentlemen, right? They want to make sure that they look like they're up on what's cool. And so they try maybe a little bit too much.
You ain't seeing with the shorts. He had the Gucci sneakers. He had the Gucci watch. I saw him.
I just remember him at the reunion. I was like, where are you going, sir?
I can't wait. But I do. His daughter was beautiful. She looks
and she was so sweet. She was so sweet. Yeah. Beautiful girl, so sweet. We talked about her being in Houston and where she lived and all that stuff. So yeah, very, very sweet girl. Maurice, he really did. I mean, okay, so I'm gonna tell y'all this story. We were at a mixer. We were at like one of the first mixers, like maybe the second mixer or something like that, maybe second or third mixer. This was a mixer that Ramon was at. So, because I remember it was Ramon, Cam, and Maurice. And when I say, like, we hadn't heard anything from Maurice that entire time. He never piped up until that moment where it was like he was standing between Ramon and Cameron, and he was like, stepped forward and like posed the question. It was like really engaging with me. And I was like, oh snap, like I think this might be the first time I actually heard you speak, sir. and he was like smiling, and he was just ready to converse. And I was just like, oh, okay, so he does have a voice. But other than that, I never really heard him speak.
Well, what did you say? Because we talked right after the episode, and it was so funny to me what you said about, because I think like the couple, well, okay, let me ask you this. Who would you want to go on a double date with the most?
Out of everybody?
Yes.
I ain't gonna keep it real. Whatever it is, Ashley got to be there because she gonna keep it live.
She gonna make sure you have fun, yeah.
But the worst going out with Sharice and Maurice, Man, that'd be hell. I wouldn't want to be around them. You got two people with not much personality, at least on the show, and then they both talk like, "Hey, how you doing?" It's all teeth. They don't open their mouth. It's no personality. Nah, I'm good.
No, I don't know about the teeth part.
Go back and watch it. I promise you.
I'm not gonna do it. But what I do think that we don't really see much. Cherie's personality was way different when she came on. She was relaxed. She seems very stiff on the show. We don't really get to see it. I asked her, I was like, when you look at the dates, does it feel like that's how they were? And she said, yes. So I feel like, maybe that's how she is on a date. There are some couples that are not really like playful, or Maurice doesn't seem playful, but maybe that's just his TV persona. I don't know.
Because his Instagram is way different.
You keep saying that.
He had a goatee. He had jackets with the sleeves off. He had like he was in the biker gang or something. He was way different.
He had a whole premiere party.
See,
he wasn't on the first episode. I said, "How you have a premiere party? You got it on the first episode."
See,
he did, and in case y'all want to know, he was in the comments and he said he does have billboards because one of our the people in the chat said that he had a billboard, and so I was like, well, maybe does he have a billboard? So Maurice let me know he does have billboards. So just so y'all know, if you didn't know, now you know. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think of who I would want to go on a double date with. Ashley does seem fun, but I don't think I'd want to go with her and Donald, because are they going to have fun, or is he going to be in trouble? What's going to happen?
Ashley and Donald, one of my friend couples that are friends of mine that would like, you be like, bruh, hey, y'all traumatizing me again. My mama and daddy used to argue like this.
Yeah, like Hey, when I was in a relationship before, I remember we went out with another couple and they ended up fighting. Next thing you know, I was looking at him. We were like, wait a minute, because the fighting can be, it can kind of make you feel, look at each other like, what you talking about? Like, I was like, we can't go out with y'all no more. We cannot go out with y'all no more. I cannot do it. Ashley by herself, yes. That together, and then too, it makes the vibe. I had friends, we went on a couples trip, and one of our friends got into a big fight. One was leaving. I was like, come on now. I can't, not at this big age. We can't do that. Probably you and Cam, y'all seem like y'all be cool, but I don't know exactly what is happening right now.
It's tragic right now, but
right now
we're fun to be around. We're definitely like the cool hippie parents that let their kids do whatever and sitting here let's smoke a blunt real quick. We gonna go have a good time and just a little something for everybody. Yeah.
But I think probably I would say Vernon Tabari, just because you made a good point that Tabari is a people person. Mm-hmm. So I feel like he would know all the hot spots to go to. And he probably has that like that hospitality type vibe where he would be able to get extra stuff. So I think Tabari and Vern probably for right now, from what we've seen, I don't know what's going to happen later. I would say them.
You're not going to be saying that next week, but okay.
Damn. And that's why every week I say this is what I think as of right now, because we know it's going to change, and we also know it's for TV.
Yeah, but if I was to go on a double date, it would definitely be with Tabari and Vern.
Okay, see, you agree. Okay, I just don't. I really don't want trouble. Now I think Ashley. Ashley is a lot of fun alone, but and I think but you know what's weird. The first season of Ready to Love, when Ashley was on, Ashley was, to me, totally different. And that could be because she got hurt.
Right.
He was an idiot, but she was very, very different. And I think she's trying not to get hurt this time and trying to come off different on TV because she didn't like what happened. But she didn't look bad the last time. To me, he looked bad because when you know the story, then you know it was him. It wasn't her. But I do think, when you go through something, you got to let that. It's hard. It's just hard. It's hard. But I feel she's the youngest one, and she's figuring it out. She's going to be all right. But I don't think Donald's the one. Don't think that. nonchalant people are my.
Nah, don't do
I
that.
don't like nonchalant. Indifference is worse than hate to me. So I would rather know you don't like it than you just be kind of indifferent. But I know how to move around. I don't like that nonchalant. It can come, it can go.
You can't beat it.
Well, it wasn't that he was just nonchalant. It was the fact that he was deflecting. It's like, I'm saying what I'm saying. You're telling me about my behavior. No, speak to what I'm saying. And then my behavior will probably change. Diffuse the situation by answering the question. But don't tell me, oh, you act like DMX, you doing this, you doing that. No. That's only gonna take the situation up higher. That's like telling somebody to calm down. Calm down. What do people do when you tell? Yeah, what do people do when you tell them to calm down? They be like, I am calm. It's a whole situation. So
that comment was that comment was wild. But the funny thing is, DMX was one of them type of people that he was just passionate. He wasn't mean.
That's what I'm trying to say.
So, in any case, we've been on here way too long. It is midnight 30 in Atlanta. Zadia, thank you so much for hanging out, for explaining all kinds of stuff, explaining back then, now, giving us the lowdown on the issue with Sharice. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you and I had that talk. And I want to say this publicly. Zadia actually reached out to me because we talked. We saw each other at the event, but she actually reached out because she wanted to make sure that there was no miscommunication. And I really appreciated that. I thanked her. I thanked you on the phone, but I want to thank you publicly because I really appreciate you as a sister saying, hey, I want to make sure that we're good. I want to make sure you understand where I'm coming from. And then I did not know. I thought that she didn't want to come on the channel. That's what I was told. I found out that wasn't the truth. But most importantly, I appreciate a sister standing up and saying, hey, let me reach out and make sure that we're good. I think that's huge. And if more of us do that, we'll that's how sisters should interact. Like, you know, there's no reason to be walking around thinking something if you can fix it. So I appreciate you, number one, accepting the invitation to come to Under the Mistletoe, and then reaching out to me to have that conversation. I really appreciate that. And then, of course, coming on today. So I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and thank you for being open to have that conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. I see you.
Bona's put on the Hugh Hefner robe. Come on now.
I had a smoke.
Turn off the lights.
Teddy Pendergrass queued up in the back.
Come on, turn off.
I didn't think Zadia knew about that, Teddy. Okay.
When I was younger, I used to do those Columbia records, those oldies but goodies. I used to send those little things in to get the CDs. Child, I was bad.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious.
I'm an oldies girl. I love me some old school R&B, old school love songs. I'm definitely an oldies girl.
Romantic at heart. Well, Zadia, we are going to wish you. We cannot wait to see next week. We can't wait to see what happens with you and Cam. Hopefully, we'll see you guys in Atlanta one day or something.
Maybe.
We'll see. We'll see.
We shall see, child. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
All the ad libs. She has great ad libs. But thank you. People are saying they appreciated seeing this side. This was the After Dark special. We love you guys for watching. And, you know, Mo and I will be back next Wednesday. We may have another guest. We'll see. We love you guys for watching. Make sure that you stop on the way out and like this conversation, and please share it so people can hear from the horse's mouth. Zadia came and shared her story. So we want to make sure that people get a chance to hear that. We will see you guys right back here. If you watch this channel, make sure you tune in tomorrow because I have a pop culture power that's going to blow your mind. I did a story on Diddy that is gone viral and is doing really well. So I can't wait to share that with you guys. So tune in for that tomorrow. Mo, any dates lined up this weekend? What's happening?
No, I'm good. I told you I'm chill for the rest of the year. I'm good.
I don't know if I believe that.
Your phone gonna be dry till 2024?
It ain't dry now. No.
Right, yeah.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
You want to say anything to Zadia? I mean, she's not locked down with Cam as of yet. Anything?
Why y'all keep?
We don't know that.
You do this to me. Nah, she's a
I'm
beautiful.
just messing with you, but you did say that.
I said what? What I
You want me to say it?
say? Yeah, say it.
Okay, so people kept saying that he liked Vernisha. He was like, no, if you guys have been watching, I do think she looked good in that dress, but I've been on Zadia the whole time. I was
Well, what I was saying was not only I said that, but I was saying it based on the fact that that's who they kept putting me with. I said if I had to pick someone, that's the one.
Okay.
I'm a little spicy, Mo. You think you can handle me? If you were to describe me as a drink, I'd be a spicy margarita, real spicy, Diablo. Can you take it?
Listen,
it's gonna be a good time.
Hey.
But you might have to drink some water afterwards, child.
Listen, I'm cool with all that. Listen, y'all gonna look. Hold on for a second.
Uh-oh.
Well, what is happening?
Oh Lord, Crystal XOXO after dark, child. Come on, BT.
What you went back to my friend? What you went over and got?
Now, what you were saying?
Take the glasses off. How about that?
We gotta see your eyes when you say that.
Yeah, you know what, Keisha in love these girls. She said Mo looks so good. You know what? We're gonna get off. I'm out here embarrassing Mo and having fun with Zadia. This has been fun. Thank you guys for watching. We're gonna let this go before Mo starts.
I know. Inappropriate. PG.
Thank y'all. Good night. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Peace.